got.
Okay.
So that's why there's so many different kinds of people in the world with different capacities and different abilities and different focus and so on. They're able to do this or that or not. So they find every adult has to find his way in the world, and they do. And so we have wonderful, good, decent people who are working very hard with what they have to make a good life and to contribute to the world. But our capacities to do various things are different, and it's all depending on this process of brain development in the prefrontal cortex, which ends at the end of adolescence.
That's really interesting.
So you wonder if you've got a young child, you're thinking, well, how is she going to end up? How much brain power will she have when she's off in college somewhere, or we're doing whatever she wants to do? And it's a darn good question. And my kids are almost 50 years old, so they're not developing their foundations anymore, and I'm not either.
No.
And neither are you.
No.
So we're cool. We're building on what we have, and hopefully that's a real robust foundation.
Yes.
Not a minimal one. And so the question is, how do you end up with a minimal one? How do you end up with a massive foundation? And the answer is, you exercised the functions of the prefrontal cortex repeatedly throughout youth. Okay. Now, how do you do that? Well, it has to do with your interests, with your activities, your courses that you take, and your life, and how you go about your life. And adults can influence that. And I can tell you a number of ways that adults and parents can actually influence brain development of a teenager.
Sounds like a good idea. Give us a few.
It is a good idea. If you care about your kids and you want them to end up, really smart, there are ways to encourage it. As you well know, many parents are distant and neglectful, but that's not you. I know that. And that's not me. I could tell you stories about what I did with my kids by accident, because this is new knowledge.
Yeah.
Do you sense that this is important knowledge?
Look, I think it's vitally important, but it's only important to people who know about it. If somebody doesn't have access to this information, they'll just carry along blindly,
yes,
hoping for the best.
And let me tell you how this has worked for the last 7,000 years.
Tell me. Trial and error.
This is the time period before the NIH research.
Okay. Yes.
Before we knew anything about teen brain development, which is really is 21st century knowledge.
Yeah.
Teens that were developing before that there was no way that they would get this information, or the parents would get this information. But smart kids ended up anyway to become smart adults. So how did that happen without this information? And the answer is they were fortunate. They just happened to get interested in things like chess or computer programming or debate or whatever, just because they were interested. Or they had a parent who loved them so much that they wanted to see them flower. And so they asked them leading questions or open-ended questions. What do you think, sweetheart? Or, okay, so this thing happened today. Why did it happen? What's your opinion? Yes. Instead of saying, you know what, she's not a very nice girl, and you probably should spend less time with her. Yeah. And you sort of solve the problem for her, and that isn't helping her think things through. And if she's not thinking things through, she's not wiring her prefrontal cortex. Yeah.
Varying ways of solving the same problem or different situations from different angles help you get variety. Yeah.
The key is to get them to do the thinking.
Yeah.
So if you notice that something wonderful has happened with your child, or maybe some kind of frustration has happened, or a failure, or now they're being challenged and they don't know what to do, or whatever. The thing to do if you want to help them is to ask them questions that will get them to think through the issue. Like, what do you think's going on here? You may know what's going on.